log on and watch this proceeding just as if we were live and in person. All defendants on the screen, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this proceeding today. Those who receive a signature bond today will be reset for the notice to a division judge, and those receiving a surety or cash bond will be reset to the SAP calendar on April the 19th of 2022. I understand pretrial will be joining us shortly, but we can go ahead and get started. Who do we have first at the jail?
Good afternoon, Judge. We have position 10, Ms. Hunter.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Are you Cara Hunter?
Yes.
Ms. Hunter, your case is 22 CR 002058A, and you're charged with simple battery family violence with an offense date of April 5th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes.
Do you, can I conduct this hearing by video today?
Yes.
And who represents Ms. Hunter?
Wanda Gant, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good to see you, Ms. Gant. Can Ms. Gant assist you by video today?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, because Ms. Howard, I don't believe is back with us yet. Whose case is this for the state?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Aaliyah Harmon for the state.
Oh, it's good to meet you, Ms. Harmon. I'm gonna defer to the state for now for the history. Do you have the history for Ms. Hunter?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. There are 3 total arrests. The last 2 recent arrests are driving on a suspended license, and that's the end of the history.
Okay. All right, and what is the state's recommendation for Ms. Hunter's bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Would you like me to present the facts first or go straight to the recommendation?
I'll let you decide how to present your case, counselor, however
Thank
is
you
best for
very
you.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, on April 5th, 2022, officers were dispatched to the location of 6442 DeKeon Drive. That's DEKEON Drive in the city of South Fulton. And they were there in reference to a fight or a domestic call. The parties in this case are married and they live in the same household and share a child. Mr. Hunter was able to provide video footage of the incident for officers to review when they arrived. The video actually showed that the parties were having a conversation. The defendant, Ms. Hunter, stood up and suddenly slapped Mr. Hunter and continued to slap him. Mr. Hunter was simply trying to defend himself, and then the defendant picked up a lamp and began striking Mr. Hunter. The officers did observe a minor scratch to his ears. The defendant told the officers that Mr. Hunter struck her. However, according to the video footage, Mr. Hunter did not strike the defendant at all. Our office was able to reach out and have a conversation with Mr. Hunter, and I know he is on the Zoom. And he told us that he does not fear the defendant and he would like to have no violent contact with the defendant. And Mr. Hunter, just for the record, it's Orlandis Hunter, and it's ORLANDIS Hunter as the victim. In light of the lack of significant criminal history in the conversation with the victim, but taking into account that this is a domestic incident, we are recommending a $3,000 surety bond, no further violent contact with the victim, a one-day anger awareness course, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cara Hunter is 44 years old. She has been in the Atlanta area since 2001. As we heard from the state, she is married. She also has two children, one of which she shares with Mr. Hunter. That is a 5-year-old. Her oldest child is 18 years old. Your Honor, Ms. Hunter has 3 degrees. She has a bachelor's, a master's, and her doctorate, of course, is in education. She is a reading specialist at Atlanta Public Schools. She has been in that position for the last the past year. Prior to that, she was a middle school language reading teacher for 22 years. Your Honor, Ms. Hunter disputes the allegation. She states that there was an altercation. However, this altercation began well before the video captured the interaction between the two. She states that she felt threatened, and in fact, she called the police because of this situation, Your Honor. We heard about her history. What I have is a driving with license suspended in Fulton County in 2015. That is over 7 years ago. It's not a conviction for violence. Given that she does not have any history of violence and offers a competing version, I would ask that the court grant a signature bond, as she is recommended through pretrial services. I also had the occasion to speak to Mr. Olandis Hunter. He, of course, states that he wants to have contact with her as well. So we are unopposed to the no violent contact order, as well as the other conditions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Gant. Mr. Hunter, if you would like to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. I see you on the Zoom conference. You are not required to make a statement by any means, but if you would like to, this is your opportunity to speak to the court at this time. Would you like to make a statement? If you're muted, Mr. Hunter. If you're speaking, I'm unable to hear you.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me now, Judge.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Do you wish to make a statement? If you do, I'll swear you in. If not, you don't have to make any type of statement today.
Yes. Well, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what would you like to tell me?
Judge, there was not an altercation prior to. I showed the officer actually every segment of every clip of the videos. There was no altercation between us. She has a tendency to use the police as a weapon, and I'm just not going to accept that anymore because they've come out to the house a couple.
Your Honor, I would object and ask that the testimony be limited to his wishes regarding contact with Ms. Hunter.
Your objection is noted, Ms. Gant. Continue, Mr. Hunter.
I don't have an issue with the contact as long as it's nonviolent, and as she's, like I said, can't use the police as a weapon anymore, calling them out here for no reason.
So you wish for her to be able to return home and have contact with you?
It's my 5-year-old. I don't want her to have to suffer. That's the only reason. It's my 5-year-old. She's been asking about her mother, and I don't want to continue to have to, deter her from seeing her mom, because that could be detrimental for her. So it's because of her.
All right, I understand. Thank you so much.
Your Honor, I just want to get some clarification before I object. I'm sorry, are you saying that it's been previous incidents that have occurred between you and Mrs. Hunter?
She gets angry and she calls the police. That's what Fairburn has been documented. She calls the police, and then I've been asked to leave because she will not tell the truth. She won't tell the truth to them. So they make me leave because it's like my word against yours. But this time I actually had camera footage. So that's the only thing that protects.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Gant, since Ms. Harmon asked a question, would you like to perform some very limited cross? Very limited.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. I believe I understand the nature of the situation. At this time, Ms. Hunter is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She will need to take that 1-day anger awareness course. She is to have no further violent contact with the victim, last name Hunter in this case, and she is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of her bond. Is there anything further from either party? Excuse me.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the state? All right, hearing none. Best of luck to you, Ms. Hunter. We can go to our next position.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Before we move on, this is Daryl Coleman, the other public defender for this afternoon. I have a client who is requiring a Spanish interpreter. I don't know if I can be put into a breakout room to speak with this person.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Coleman. It is good to see you. It's been a minute. Is there an interpreter on the Zoom conference? I don't see one.
She's here.
Oh, I see you now. Yes, I see you. Okay. Miss Lewis, if you could place Mr. Coleman into a breakout, perhaps. Well, how will we do this? Is the
Yeah, it
defendant,
all depends on where the defendant, if he's in
right? I
court.
was gonna ask, is that defendant currently in courtroom 2? Is it,
Judge, that can be done in courtroom 3. So they'll be logging on in 2 minutes.
okay.
All right, thank you.
When we get to that, Mr. Coleman, we'll make sure that breakout takes place, all right?
Thank you.
All right, who do we have next?
This is position 8, Ms. Freeman.
All right. All right, good afternoon, Ms. Freeman. I am Judge Melanie Williams. Your case is 22 CR 002059F, and you're charged with harassing communications. Do you understand your constitutional right?
Ma'am.
Thank you. Can I conduct this by video today?
Yes, ma'am.
And can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Howard, I see you're back.
Third arrest. Last was 1995, DUI dismissed. Before that was in 1984.
Okay, very remote, I understand. All right, thank you. And whose case is this for the state?
This is my case, Your Honor, Ms. Sowry.
It's good to see you, Ms. Sowry. All right, Ms. Sowry, what is the state's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $3,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the victim, a one-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Your Honor, briefly, the facts of the case is that the victim in this case, Mecola, M-E-C-O-L-A, Broughton, B-R-O-U-G-H-T-O-N. She is the niece of the defendant, and she's currently sick and on oxygen. The victim gave a statement to the police that between June of 2020 and February of this year, the defendant has been harassing the victim by calling her, texting her, wishing death upon her. The victim states that the defendant told her she wishes that she hurries up and dies. The victim does not know why the defendant is harassing her by phone, and we were able to speak with the victim, and she stated that she didn't want to attend the Zoom meeting. Your Honor, we've heard from pretrial of this defendant's history, and even though she does have a lack of convictions on her record, due to the nature of this case, Your Honor, the amount of calling, the time frame for two whole years, and the defendant's behavior and the victim's physical state, we are recommending a surety bond, a $3,000 surety bond, nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Sowry. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Xavier Freeman is 56 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area her entire life. She has family here, including her mother and her 4 children. She also has 5 grandchildren. Your Honor, Ms. Freeman completed 10th grade. She is a caretaker for her niece's sister, and that would be Ms. Mercola Broughton's sister. She has been doing this for the past 1 year. Your Honor, my client denies the allegations, and the warrant that I read states that it's a very general warrant. It states threatening harm to her family, wishing she was dead, and hate messages. That's the extent of the warrant that I read. Your Honor, again, she denies these allegations. My client does not even have any history for violence whatsoever. I am requesting a signature bond. I am also requesting a no violent contact order. However, I reached out to Ms. Mercola Broughton and was unable to speak with her regarding her wishes. Therefore, we will defer to the court's ruling. And the reason that I ask, Your Honor, is because Ms. Freeman, again, she is the caretaker for Ms. Mercola Broughton's child, and she has to take Mercola's sister to pick up Mercola's son, which is Xavier. And I believe that I have that right. I did indicate to Ms. Freeman that I would ask her to explain that to the court regarding the level of the necessity for contact between the two. So just in the interest of being sure that I'm presenting my client's position to the court, I would ask that Your Honor allow Ms. Freeman to explain the reason why she needs to have contact in some capacity. And if Your Honor determines that third party would suffice, we would be willing to accept that.
Ms. Gant, why don't you lead your client as it pertains to that very limited issue?
Okay, I will do so, Your Honor. Ms. Freeman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you recall our conversation this morning regarding your need for contact with Ms. Broughton?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Broughton, may you explain to the court the relationship between yourself and Ms. Nicola Broughton?
Nicola is my niece, my sister's child.
Okay, and what is your sister's child's name?
Nicola Broughton.
Okay, and the son that you referenced regarding having to take to and from or to pick up from Nicola, what is his name?
Well, his name is Xavier Freeman.
Okay, and also may you explain to the court why you need to have continued contact with Ms. Broughton as it relates to Xavier?
Because her sister, Tamika Freeman, I'm taking care of her. I've been taking care of her since 2020. And I'm now am her care nurse. And when we went to court for her son, she was she's trying to get her son back. So they stay in Covington. I have to take her to pick him up and take him back for her.
And at this time, is there anyone else who is available to step in that role for you?
I don't have anybody right now. My daughter don't stay near me. So every now and again, she'll drive for me when I'm not feeling good.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Freeman.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you for that point of clarification. I don't have anything further. Ms. Sauer, is there anything further? Do you need to clarify? If you need to, I would prefer that you not speak with the defendant, but if you would like to put forth additional arguments, you may do so, Ms. Sauer.
Yes, Your Honor. So the very nature of this case is harassing communications to the victim. Again, we reached out to the victim. She does not want contact with the defendant. So we would ask that the court take the nature of this charge into consideration and the fact that the victim does not want contact. Nothing further.
Thank you. At this time, Ms. Sauer, not Ms. Sauer, I apologize. Ms. Freeman is going to receive a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to have no contact with the victim at all. No phones, no message. To arrange transport of the child, if necessary, she can speak through a third party. She is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Is there anything further from anybody, from either of the parties at this time?
Nothing further from the state.
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Freeman. Who do we have next?
Thank you, ma'am.
Next, we have position 7, but Judge, I just wanted to let you know that courtroom 3 is ready for the interpreter case.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, if you could put courtroom 3 in a breakout, perhaps with Mr.
They already
Coleman.
been in there, Judge.
All right, thank you. Perfect. All right, we're gonna take the case of, is it Nalia Camacho?
Nylea Camacho.
Nalia Camacho, your case is 22 CR 00206-1J. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. You are charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, and 1 count of disorderly conduct with an offense date of March the 5th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes.
Can I conduct this hearing by video today?
Yes.
And can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes.
All right, who represents this defendant?
I do, Your Honor.
Oh,
Marie
it's good
McLeod.
to see you. Good to see you, Ms. McLeod. Okay.
Good to see you, Judge.
Mr. Howard?
Hey, got a total of 5 arrests. She has a battery, family violence, first offender from 2019. That was out of Coweta County. 2014 hit and run. 2012 simple battery that was dismissed. 2013 arrest out of Florida, possession of cocaine, drug paraphernalia. and drug equipment. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you. All right, Mr. Segura, is this your case?
It is, Your Honor.
It's good to see you, Mr. Segura. What is the state's recommendation?
The incident occurred on April the 5th, 2022 at an instant location at Windstorm Productions, Inc., located at 1099 Euclid Avenue, Northeast Atlanta. Also responded to a fight call. Upon arriving, police spoke to the victims, Mr. Kyle Ricks. Kyle Ricks spelled K-Y-E. Ricks spelled R-I-C-K-S. And Miss Veronica Martinez. Veronica spelled V-E-R-O-N-I-C-A. Martinez, common spelling. Concerning the fight, Mr. Ricks advised the police that his ex-girlfriend, the defendant, had punched him in the face, which ended up causing his upper lip to split. As Mr. Ricks had told the police, stated that Mr. Ricks and Miss Martinez were eating outside of the Alibaba Mediterranean restaurant. During that time, the defendant was with a group of friends close by. And at the time, there was some conversation between the friends and the defendant saying that Miss Martinez and Mr. Ricks were laughing at them. But in reality, Mr. Ricks says that they was laughing among themselves about something else. At that moment, a male companion of the defendant came up to Mr. Ricks and Miss Martinez and spit at them. Afterwards, the defendant came up to Mr. Ricks and punched him in the face, causing a split lip. Afterwards, the two ended up getting up, which resulted in the defendant and a group of friends coming close and surrounding Mr. Ricks, which ended up Mr. Ricks getting a chair to defend himself. At that time, the defendant was chasing Ms. Martinez and ended up getting into a fist fight with her. And all of this was witnessed by witness and was also caught on video by multiple angles and multiple people. Because of this, we're asking for a $6,000 surety bond, $5,000 for the battery, and $1,000 for disorderly conduct. And we're asking for the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, 1-day anger awareness, and no further contact with Kyle Ricks and Veronica Martinez. We're basing our conditions based on these facts, as well as because we know it's the pattern of violence coming from the defendant. As pretrial has noted, the 2012 simple battery and also 2019 family battery violence. Because of these violent patterns, we're concerned about what could happen to Mr. Ricks if the defendant is allowed to just come out and out. And also, we're taking into account that this only happened yesterday. We don't believe there's long enough cooling period to justify a whole release as of yet. Because of this, we find our recommendations more than reasonable. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I will go to you, Ms. McLeod, shortly, but I'd like the sound for the Mr. Kai Ricks or Veronica Martinez. If you would like to be heard, this is your opportunity to do so. I would just need you to turn on your Zoom camera, your phone camera, your device camera, and unmute the screen. So I am sounding for Kai Ricks or Veronica Martinez at this time. All right. And Mrs. Segura, was the state requesting a stay away at this time or no?
The stay away, we're not, because the whole incident occurred outside of a restaurant close to the incident location, but none of the individuals actually live in that area.
Okay, I wanted to just clarify that point. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 27 years old. She has been living in the Atlanta area for some time, Your Honor. She tells me that she recently graduated from college, where she took an associate's degree in mortuary sciences. She is presently interning so that she can get her hours in to become a full-time mortician, Your Honor. She denies that the incident happened as stated by the prosecution, and she says, really, it was not that she was the aggressor at all. And she was hit. It was a fight, and Mr. Martinez did hit her. She acknowledges that he's an ex, but they are not in a relationship. It's been almost a year. With
All right.
respect to the alleged domestic incident or the family violence incident from 2019, she was not convicted of that. I believe it was said that that was dismissed, Your Honor. So I would say her record when it comes to violence, she doesn't have a significant violence record at all. She is not in a position to pay a huge bond, Your Honor, and I would like the court to consider giving her a signature bond, given that they don't live together, so they're unlikely to encounter each other. So it's remote that this incident is likely to reoccur. Plus,
right. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod, please continue.
I was just going to say her finances don't allow for her to pay much for a bond, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, if I could correct the record, the 2019 family violence was not dismissed. She pled under the first offender.
All right.
We also like to take note that whole incident was caught on 3 different cameras and there was a witness.
All right, thank you. I understand the nature of this situation. At this time, the defendant is going to receive a $2,500 surety bond, $2,000 for count 1, $500 for count 2. She is to have no further contact with victim's last name Ricks and last name Martinez. She is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of her bond. Are there any further questions from either party?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Judge, is that through pretrial through the jail?
It was not a signature bond, that was a surety bond.
I'm sorry. Next, we have position 19. Oh, I'm sorry. Position 13, McCloggin.
12 and 13, Dominique McCloggin. All right, good afternoon, Mr. McCloggin. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. You have 2 cases. Your first case is 22 CR 002049H, in which you're charged with battery family violence, and 22 CR 002051H, in which you're charged with simple assault family violence. The first case, the offense date is April 5th of 2022. And the second case, the offense date is August the 29th of 2021. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
No.
Can I conduct this hearing by video today?
Yes, ma'am.
And can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
This is 4th arrest. 2015 DUI conviction. 2018 riot in penal institution. I think it was amended to a fray. That was a conviction out of Cobb County. And April 2020, which was the last arrest, ag assault strangulation. That's open. 20 CP 191078. He went to felony first appearance earlier and got a $20,000 good bond.
All right, thank you. All right, whose case is this for the state?
This is my case, Your Honor.
For the state, it's my case, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. McLeod represents the defendant. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Dowry?
Yes, Your Honor. I will start with the incident 4/5/2022. Your Honor, in this case, officers responded to the incident location, which was 513 Governor Circle in Roswell. They responded regarding a physical dispute. The victim in the case, America, last name is RUVALCABA. She informed the officers that the defendant grabbed her by the right arm during this dispute, and it left marks on her arm. The defendant and the victim do have a child together, and they do live together. The state's recommendation in this case, Your Honor, is a $5,000 surety bond with conditions of stay away from the victim, no contact. Stay away from the incident location, no contact, and a 1-day anger awareness course. Your Honor, in the second case, the officers responded to a different location, 307 Rosemont Court in Roswell. It was the same victim from the last case, America. The victim informed officers that an altercation started when the defendant came over to see their child. The victim stated that she asked the defendant for child support money, and he responded with, "What money?" The victim then did not allow the defendant to see their child, and then the defendant responded by aggressively rushing her, and his body language made her feel as though she was going to be attacked. The victim then took a picture of the defendant's vehicle tag. He got more upset, and then he ran out to her vehicle to scratch her vehicle up. A third party was outside and viewed this incident between the victim and the defendant, and then the defendant tried to fight that person as well. Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $3,000 surety bond with conditions of a stay away, no contact with the victim, anger awareness, and we are asking that the court does not impose a third-party transfer of the child due to the cruelty charges that he went to felony court on today for date of incident 9/6/2020. Your Honor, we also would like to note that the open case pretrial noted for the 2020 ag assault strangulation case is open against the same victim, and he was out on a $15,000 surety bond, and there was more than likely a stay away that was issued from this for the victim, so he has potentially violated that condition of his bond as well. He does present a risk of intimidating this witness, so the state is asking for a surety bond on each case. Nothing further.
Will you clarify those stay away locations, Ms. Sowery?
Yes, ma'am. It's 513 Governor's Circle in Roswell. And the second is 307 Rosemont Court in Roswell.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'm going to sound for the victim. Ms. Sowery, pronounce the last name again. Was it Ruvelka?
Ruvelkaba, Ruvalcaba.
All right, Ms. Ruvelkaba, I'm not sure if we're saying that correctly. If you are present on this Zoom conference and would like to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, hearing none, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 27 years old. He tells me he's been employed for several years as a forklift operator, and he also has his own business where he makes health foods and has clients that he sells them to. The alleged victim and himself have been in a relationship for over 3 years, and they have been living together for the past 3 years at various locations, including at the home of his parents. They do have 2 children together, Your Honor, not one. They have a 2-year-old as well as, I believe, an 8-month-old. In addition, he tells me that she is currently pregnant, Your Honor. He tells me that the children, especially his son, who's 2 years old, is very attached to him, and it would be very traumatic if he does not have the opportunity to see this little boy. He doesn't have a great deal of money to make bond, Your Honor. And as the state has noted, he already has a $20,000 surety bond in Superior Court. Therefore, I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond simply because he has to deal also with the surety bond in Superior Court. He's under 27 years old. He does have these children and another one coming. So we're talking about potentially 3 children who could be impacted by his incarceration. And I'd like to ask the court to take that into consideration in setting his bond and in setting the conditions. He would definitely like to see the children.
And Your Honor, if I may,
very briefly, Ms. Sowery, very briefly, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to reinstate that this defendant does have a cruelty to children charge on September of 2020 that he was just seen in Superior Court for. And also, Your Honor, I just wanted to note for the court, the conditions of bond are based on the Ayala factors, not the defendant's other cases that he has pending. So we would like the court to take that into consideration as well. And the fact that that case is open in Fulton County. So he's able to handle those right here.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Sowry. Those factors actually cut both ways. All right, at this time, the defendant for the case ending in 2049H is going to receive a $3,000 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Ruvelka. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, no further contact with the victim, and he must stay away from that incident location on Governor's Circle. For the case ending in 2051H, he's going to receive a $2,000 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the victim and stay away from the address on Rosemont Court. And I am not going to allow for the third-party transfer at this time. I think there needs to be a cooling off period. It can be revisited at the SAP calendar on April the 19th of 2022. And also, he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of his bond. Are there any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Are we able to go to the interpreter case now?
I'm sorry, Judge, he has a question.
Yeah, the best thing for you to do is to contact Ms. McLeod with your questions. I don't want you to say something that you may end up implicating yourself, but if it's a very limited question, I'll hear it.
No, I was just gonna ask, so just for confirmation, so I won't be able to see my kids potentially until the next court date, which you guys said on the 19th. I have to wait until then.
Please speak with Ms. McLeod. She'll explain the entire ruling to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, we're ready if Mr. Coleman is ready.
I'm ready.
All right, can we do the interpreter case? We can. All right, Madam Interpreter, will you please state your name?
Analia Gismondi.
And will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear today that you will make an accurate translation from Spanish to English, English to Spanish for the best of your ability and your knowledge and skill?
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Are you Miguel Padilla Alvarado?
¿Es usted Miguel Padilla Alvarado?
Yes. All right, thank you. I'm Judge Melanie Williams.
Yo soy la juez Melanie Williams.
Your case is 22 CR 002060E, in which you're charged with criminal trespass.
Su causa es la 22 CR 002060E y se lo acusa de ingresar a un lugar de manera delictiva.
Do you have an absolute right to remain silent? Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a permanecer callado. Todo lo que diga en su causa va y puede ser usado en su contra.
You also have a right to an attorney at this proceeding today.
También tiene el derecho a tener un abogado en esta diligencia del día de hoy.
Can I conduct this hearing by video today?
¿Puedo conducir esta audiencia por video el día de hoy? Yes.
And
Yes.
can your attorney represent you by video?
¿Y su abogado lo puede representar por video?
No tengo, no me dio tiempo de nada.
I don't have anything.
Okay. I assume that you're okay with your attorney helping you by video. Is that okay, Mr. Alvarado? I need you to explain to me whether Mr. Coleman can help you by video.
Estoy asumiendo que su abogado lo puede representar por video y que usted está de acuerdo con eso, señor Alvarado, que el señor Coleman lo puede representar por video.
Me están cambiando toda mi información y eso no me está gustando.
Just yes or no?
Solo diga sí o no.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that he is allowing me to speak with, I'm gonna assume that your attorney can help you by video, sir.
Voy a asumir que su abogado sí lo puede ayudar por video, señor.
All right, Mr. Howard,
7 total arrests. Okay, last arrest was February 2021 for DUI.
El último arresto fue en febrero del 2021 por conducir bajo los efectos del alcohol.
2016, simple battery family violence, dismissed.
En el 2016, por agresión simple, violencia en el hogar, fue desestimada la causa.
2013 and 2010, driving without a valid license.
En el 2013 y en el 2010, conducir sin licencia válida.
And the driving without a valid license was a conviction.
Y lo de conducir sin licencia válida sí fue una condena.
Nothing further.
Nada más.
thank you. Is this your case, Ms. Falk?
It is, Your Honor.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Your Honor. This incident happened on April 6th, 2022. And the call came out to 855 Roswell Creek Lane, Apartment B in Roswell, Georgia.
Este incidente sucedió el 6 de abril del 2022 y hubo una llamada del 855 Roswell Creek Road en apartamento B en Roswell, Georgia.
When officers arrived, they spoke to Miss Evarista, that is EVARISTA, Lopez Mota, MOTA.
Cuando llegaron los agentes, hablaron con Evarista López Mota.
Miss Lopez Mota stated that the defendant had showed up at her home unannounced and began knocking on the door and saying he was dying.
La señorita Mota dijo que el acusado apareció en su puerta sin anunciarse, comenzó a golpear la puerta diciendo que él se estaba muriendo.
When the officers arrived, they saw the defendant lying on the floor screaming for help, saying he was dying.
Cuando llegaron los agentes, vieron al acusado tirado en el piso, gritando, pidiendo ayuda, diciendo que se estaba muriendo.
However, a short time later, he stood up, appeared fine, and also refused any medical assistance or hospital transport.
Sin embargo, unos momentos más tarde se puso de pie, parecía estar bien y se negó a cualquier tipo de asistencia médica o traslado a algún hospital.
Ms. Lopez Mota stated that the defendant was her ex and he was not supposed to be at her home.
La señorita López Mota declaró que el acusado era su ex y que él no se suponía que tenía que estar en su casa.
At that point, the officers ran the defendant's name and saw that he had been given a criminal trespass warning previously to stay away from Ms. Lopez Mota's home.
En ese momento investigaron el nombre del acusado, los agentes, y descubrieron que se le había dado una advertencia anteriormente de no acercamiento y que iba a ser una acción delictiva si él se acercaba a la casa de la señorita López Mota.
Our office has spoken to Ms. Lopez Mota, and she has stated that they were together for 8 years and have 4 children together.
Nuestros agentes hablaron con la señorita López Mota y ella declaró que estuvieron juntos 8 años y que tienen 4 hijos juntos.
She further stated that he has been verbally abusive to her in the past, and she has called the police in the past.
Ella también declaró que él la ha maltratado verbalmente en el pasado y que ella ha llamado a la policía en el pasado.
That statement is supported by the 2016 simple.
I'm gonna get an objective this time. This is hearsay.
Your objection is noted. I'll allow Ms. Falk to continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. That statement by Ms. Lopez Mota is supported by the fact that the 2016 simple battery involving the defendant that was dismissed also involved Ms. Lopez Mota.
Esa declaración de la señorita Mota está apoyada también en que en la acusación el arresto del 2016 por agresión física simple fue un incidente que también involucraba a la señorita López Mota.
Furthermore, she stated that Mr. Lopez Mota keeps coming to her apartment demanding to talk and come in.
También declaró que el señor sigue yendo a su apartamento exigiendo hablar e ingresar.
She further stated she let him in this time because he was screaming that he was dying, but once he came into the home, she realized he was lying to her.
Ella declaró que en esta vez ella lo dejó entrar porque le estaba gritando diciendo que se estaba muriendo, pero una vez que lo dejó entrar, ella se dio cuenta que él le estaba mintiendo a ella.
Ms. Lopez Mota further states that she does not want contact and that she and her children are scared of him and do not want him near.
La señorita López Mota también declaró que ella no quiere tener ningún tipo de contacto, que le tiene miedo y que no lo quiere tener cerca.
Due to this, we are asking for a $3,000 surety bond, which is the current bond that is in place.
Debido a esto, estamos pidiendo un bono de caución de $3,000, que es el bono que está actualmente puesto.
We are further asking for no further contact with the victim or her children.
También estamos pidiendo que no haya más comunicación con la víctima o sus hijos.
And a stay away from Ms. Lopez Mota's residence at 855 Roswell Creek Lane, Apartment B, Roswell, Georgia.
Y que también permanezca alejado de la residencia de la señorita López Mota en el 855 Roswell Creek Lane, apartamento B en Roswell, Georgia.
Although there has already been a criminal trespass warning levied on him to stay away from that residence previous to this incident.
Aunque ya se había hecho una orden de alejamiento, de no acercamiento de esta residencia anteriormente a este incidente.
And finally, we are asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Y también estamos pidiendo que no consuma alcohol, ni drogas, ni porte armas.
We would like to point out that the defendant was convicted on July 12th, 2021 of that DUI.
Queremos remarcar que el acusado fue condenado el 12 de julio del 2021 por conducir bajo los efectos del alcohol.
And I believe he is still on probation on that case, which shows a risk of reoffense.
Y por lo cual él está todavía en libertad a prueba por ese evento y muestra un riesgo de que vuelva a recaer.
So based on that and the danger to the victim, that is why we're asking for this $3,000 surety bond.
Debido a eso y al peligro hacia la víctima, es porque estamos pidiendo este bono de caución de $3,000.
That is all.
Eso es todo.
Before I go to Mr. Coleman, I am going to sound for the victim, last name Lopez Mota. Ms. Lopez Mota, if you are present, this is your opportunity.
My apologies, Your Honor, I didn't mean to interrupt. She stated she would not be appearing via Zoom.
All right, I'm still going to sound just in the event that she changed her mind.
I understand.
Ms. Lopez Mota, in the event that you are on this Zoom conference and would like to be heard, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, hearing none, Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, I would be requesting a signature bond for my client.
Su señoría, estoy pidiendo que se dé un bono de caución solo con firma para mi cliente.
He is 40 years of age, has lived here in Fulton County for the last 15 years.
Él tiene 40 años de edad y ha vivido aquí en el condado de Fulton los últimos 15 años.
He is gainfully employed at China Garden Restaurant.
Él está empleado en el restaurante China Garden.
And is the father of the 4 children which were mentioned.
Y es el padre de los 4 hijos que mencionaron.
I will remind the court that at this time that these are just allegations against my client.
Le voy a recordar a la juez que en este momento estos son solo alegatos que hay contra mi cliente
and that the alleged victim is not present at this time to offer any testimony against him.
y que la supuesta víctima no está presente en este momento para ofrecer ninguna declaración en contra de él.
He only has 7 arrests. The only violence in his history was a simple battery, which was dismissed.
Él solo tiene 7 arrestos y el único de violencia fue uno de agresión simple que fue desestimada la causa.
As to the no further contact, we would have no objection as to the alleged victim.
En cuanto a la orden de que no haya más contacto, no tenemos ninguna objeción acerca de esa orden contra la supuesta víctima.
We would ask that he be allowed to see his children if they have been legitimated and it be through a third party.
Sí pedimos que a él se le permita ver a sus hijos si es que fueron legitimizados y que se haga a través de una tercera parte.
Again, we would have no objection to the stay away as my client is not living with the alleged victim.
Y tampoco tenemos ninguna protesta o objeción a la orden de que se mantenga alejado, dado que mi cliente no vive con la supuesta víctima.
And again, we will be requesting a signature bond.
Y como les decía, estamos pidiendo que el bono de caución sea solo con firma.
All right, thank you. At this time, Mr. Padilla Alvarado is going to receive a $2,000 surety bond.
En este momento, el señor Padilla Alvarado va a recibir un bono de caución asegurado de $2,000.
He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Lopez Mota.
No puede tener más contacto con la víctima de apellido López Mota.
He can arrange the transport of his children through a third party.
Puede hacer arreglos para el traslado de sus niños a través de una tercera parte.
But he is not to make any direct contact with her via social media, phone, text, or otherwise.
Pero no puede tener ningún contacto directo con ella a través de las redes sociales, el teléfono, mensajes de texto o de ninguna otra manera.
He must also stay away from that address on Roswell Creek Lane.
También debe permanecer alejado de esa dirección en Roswell Creek Lane.
And he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Y no puede tener ningún arma, ni drogas, ni alcohol.
All right, is there anything further from either party?
¿Hay alguna de las partes?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I believe this will conclude his case. If he needs to speak with you, Mr. Coleman, is there any, I think he was asking a question. Is there something that he needs to resolve with you at this time, Mr. Coleman? While you have interpreting? Okay. All right, well, best of luck to you, sir. All right, and I believe that will conclude your case. And Madam Interpreter, I believe you can be excused. Is there any other interpreter case on this calendar today? I don't think so. All right.
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Coleman or Ms. Gant, are you aware of any other case that will require the services of the interpreter?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right, well, thank you so much for your help today and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, who do we have next?
Position 6, Mr. Bunn.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Bunn. Your case is 22 CR 002054E, in which you're charged with theft by shoplifting with offense dated February the 16th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes,
Can I conduct this hearing by video today?
yes,
And can your attorney assist you by video?
yes.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
27 total. Last arrest was August 2021, shoplifting out of Clayton County. That's open. In 2013, he was given 3 years to serve, 7 years probation for financial transaction card fraud, 4 counts, 2 counts of financial transaction card theft. So that should wrap up sometime next year based on the math. Driving without a valid license, 2020 probation violation, credit card fraud, 2019 suspended license obstruction, 2017 shoplifting dismissed, More driver. 2011 probation violation. Underlying charge was burglary. 2011 simple battery conviction. He had a robbery that was dismissed from 2004, but the criminal attempt to commit robbery was a conviction. That's it.
All right, thank you. All right, whose case is this for the state? Oh, Mr. Segura. The state's recommendation?
And the incident occurred on February the 16th, 2022 at a Walmart located at 5200 Windward Parkway, Alpharetta. The loss prevention officer observed the defendant stealing some earbuds from a secure peg in the electronics department. The defendant went into the laundry detergent aisle where he put the earbuds from the packaging and concealed them inside his hooded sweatshirt. The defendant exited the store with the earbuds concealed and did not render payment for the earbuds. The loss department officer was able to confront the suspect in a parking lot and the earbuds returned to him. I'd also like to note that there is security footage of this incident. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and a stay away from the Walmart located at the incident location. Our recommendation are based on these facts, so also because we see that he does have a pattern of theft. Right now, there was the attempted robbery as during the P trial in the early 2000s, and there's an open case against him for theft by shoplifting in 2021. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Segura. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Derek Bond is 41 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area since 2015. He is the proud father of 2 children, ages 10 and 4. He also informs me that his fiance is pregnant. He is the primary caretaker of his children and he is not receiving any child support. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away order at 5200 Windward Parkway. Mr. Bond has no reason to return there. Mr. Bond completed high school. He also has an associate's in network engineering. He is self-employed and owns 2 businesses, Amir Lawn Care and Services and also Darion Custom Arts. Your Honor, he denies the allegations as stated, and Your Honor, we are requesting a signature bond on his behalf. I acknowledge my client's history. However, what I heard is that there is a robbery that was dismissed in the early 2000s, and Your Honor should not rely upon arrests that have not led to convictions. Furthermore, in that case out of Clayton County, August 2021, that is open and he is presumed innocent in that case as well as the current case. So therefore, Your Honor, for these reasons, I am requesting a signature bond. Again, we are unopposed to the stay away, and if Your Honor is not inclined to grant a signature bond, I would ask that you leave the bond as set at $1,000. Thank you.
Very briefly, Mr. Segura.
I wish just to emphasize that the CCTV did catch the incident on camera.
All right, thank you. At this time, Mr. Bond's bond will remain set at the $1,000 surety bond. He is to stay away from that Walmart on Windward Parkway and have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Is there anything further from either party?
Not from me, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Bond. Who do we have next?
Position number 15, Mr. McCrae.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. McCrae. Your case is 22 CR 002063F, in which you're charged with 1 count of obstruction of a law enforcement officer and 1 count of operating a bicycle on a sidewalk with an offense date of March the 23rd, 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
No.
Okay, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of this case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney at this proceeding today. Can I conduct this hearing today by video?
Yes.
And can your attorney assist you by video as well?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
23 total.
Sorry, how many?
23. He has 1 arrest out of Nebraska. Pull this year real quick. 2010 for robbery, terrorist threats, use of a weapon to commit a felony. That's a conviction on 1 of them charges. As far as the Georgia history, let's see. Last arrest was January 2021. Simple assault, family violence, simple battery, ag assault, use of a firearm by a convicted felon during the commission of a crime, cruelty in the third. He's on probation for all of that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Ms. Herman.
Yes, Your Honor, as you mentioned, the offense date is March 23rd, 2022, and the location was the area of 50 Upper Alabama Street Southwest. The officers were patrolling in that area. They observed the defendant drinking from a small container and they suspected that to be alcohol. They also observed the defendant make a hand-to-hand transaction with another male from their patrol unit. They exited the patrol unit and was approaching the defendant to do an investigation. And then the defendant fled northbound on Peachtree on the sidewalk via his bicycle. Officer J, I'm gonna spell his name, Noziere, instructed the defendant to stop. The defendant disregarded his verbal command to stop. The defendant told the officers while he was about 50 feet away from them that he wanted to talk, but he didn't want to go to jail. They told him, "You will be going to jail." And then he continued to flee the scene on his bike. As Mr. Howard stated, there is some criminal history here and there are two open probations. The first one is the 21, I'm sorry, I'll start with this other one. The 20 SC case, 20 SC 175824 for a battery family violence is a 4-year probation. A second open probation, 21 SC 179050 for the ag assault primary charge, a 7-year probation. There were also 2 arrests for probation violation in 2018, a probation revocation in 2016 in Cobb on a VGCSA charge. And Mr. Howard did mention the robbery charge out of Nebraska, excuse me. Because of the history, our recommendation is a $2,500 surety bond and the fact that he is actively on probation. We would also impose a condition of no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Thank you, Ron.
All right, thank you. Mr. Coleman?
Yeah, and I would be requesting a signature bond from Mr. McCrae. Looks like the warrant was issued on March 23rd. I think he's been in custody at the jail since March 30th, so there may be a Riverside issue with this. I don't think he's appeared before a judge in Fulton County before today. He's 29 years of age. He is a high school graduate, currently employed at LGC Temp Services, the father of 3 children, ages 3, 4, and 5. Again, I would like to preserve his job if possible. And again, I think that there may be a Riverside issue if he's been there at the jail since March 30th, and this is the first time he's appearing before a judge on these particular charges.
Can we confirm before Mr. Coleman goes any further how long Mr. McCrae has been in the Fulton County Jail? Does anyone have that information? Besides you, Mr. McCrae, Ms. Falk, are you able to see it?
Yes, I am. He was it looks like he had a bench warrant for the 20 SC case for the battery, cruelty to children, simple battery and cruelty to children. He was picked up on that. And then what I'm seeing is
Judge, he was booked in yesterday.
Okay.
What's not clear is when they booked him in on the new warrant. In the screen, it says it was added to the system April 5th. So that would corroborate what the jail has just said, which is the new warrant, even though it was taken out March 29th, wasn't actually placed on him at the jail until April 5th, although he has been in the jail on the other charges since the end of March.
Yeah, because again, I'm looking at the booking screen and the information I have, it has an arrest date of March 30th.
Right. That is his arrest date. It looks to be on the other case.
On other charges.
The bench
Right.
warrant that he got arrested on, not
Right.
the new case.
All right. I don't think that there's a Riverside issue here. So continue, Mr. Coleman. I know I cut you off short if you'd like to continue.
That was it, Your Honor. Again, I just be requesting a signature bond. I'd like the court to take notice of the fact that the charge is operating a bicycle along the sidewalk. I don't think I've ever seen this charge before.
And I just want to clarify, Ms. Falk, one last time. You said the booking screen does show that he was booked in on this charge yesterday. Oh, you're muted, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. And the booking screen shows the April 5th, 2022, that the electronic warrant, the most recent one, was added, as well as a probation violation warrant.
Okay. All right. I do have some concerns about this. All right, what we're gonna do, Mr. Mcrae is gonna receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, $1,500 on count one, $1,500 on count two, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond.
Thank you, Your
Are there any further questions from either party?
No.
Ms. Mcrae, I'm giving you a signature bond. I advise you not to speak or say anything that may interfere with your case or Mr. Coleman's ability to represent you. If you have a very limited question about my ruling, I will hear it.
I just want to say thank you, that's all.
All right. I do have some concerns. I'm not sure that there was a full Riverside issue here, but it didn't seem clear to me. So that explains the signature bond at this time. All right. Is there anything further? If not, that will conclude Mr. Mcrae's case.
Next, we have position one, Mr. Anderson.
All right, Mr. Anderson, your case number is 22 CR 00204-7D, and you're charged with one count of terroristic threats with an offense date of March the 1st of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any problem with the video hearing today?
Yeah.
And can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes, y'all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
26 total between Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee. Last arrest was back in February 2021. Possession of cocaine, drug-related objects, forgery. He's on probation for that out of Forsyth County. Last year, they gave him 3 years of probation for that. I don't see, he don't have any Georgia violence. Let me go to Alabama.
Okay.
2017 robbery. This was in that was Department of Corrections, so that must have been a conviction. Let me see, 2017 kidnapping minor. 2016 larceny, 2015 weapons offense, 2014 weapons offense. Another 2014 weapons, 2014 failure to appear for bail jumping.
Okay, I think I've got it. I think that's good. Thank you. All right, Mr. Segura.
The incident occurred on March the 1st, 2022 at 840 Pinehurst Terrace, Atlanta. Officers responded to a call from the victim, Jasmine Hunter. Yasmin spelled Y-A-S-M-Y-N-E, Hunter. Ms. Hunter told a police officer that her ex-boyfriend, the defendant, has been constantly texting her phone and texting her from a cash app. And she showed the officer the phone. One of the messages included the quote, "I will fuck up your house." We're asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, 1-day anger awareness. They stay away from 840 Pinehurst Terrace, Atlanta, and no further contact with Yasmin Hunter. We're making these recommendations based on these facts and also want to take into account Ms. Hunter's relationship with the defendant. The two once lived together, and in fact, the defendant was kicked out of the house 2 weeks ago. And also making known that Ms. Hunter is in an interesting relationship with the defendant because they were once in a relationship, and because we don't believe this, and we also believe because of his prior history resulting from his long history having concealed weapons, we're deeply concerned about Ms. Hunter's safety. Alongside, We noticed based on his history that most of his crimes has long cycle in Alabama, so we're concerned that he easily flee once he is released. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And this is your case, Ms. Gant. Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gregory Anderson is 40 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for 1 year. He is the proud father of 2 children, ages 10 and 14. He completed high school and also has a certification from a technical college for HVAC. He began a business about 8 months ago, Anderson HVAC Repairs LLC. However, he informs me that that business is not profitable at this time. Mr. Anderson denies the allegations, Your Honor, and I acknowledge my client's history. However, the last conviction for violence was back in 2017. The facts as alleged are different here. We did not hear a disposition for the kidnapping charge in 2017, and I believe that the FTAs are too remote for this court to consider. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Anderson's behalf. He does have that Forsyth County hold to deal with. He states that he is not able to pay much of anything toward bond, given that his business has not been netting much income. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away and the no contact orders, as Mr. Anderson informs me that he does not wish to have any contact with Ms. Hunter. Therefore, that certainly would take care of any concerns regarding Ms. Hunter's safety. But again, my client is presumed in this case and he denies the allegations. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Segura, can you give me that stay away location one more time?
840 Pinehurst, spelled Pinehurst, Terrence, Atlanta.
Okay. At this time, Mr. Anderson is going to receive a $2,000 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Hunter. He must stay away from the address on Pinehurst Terrace and have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Is there anything further from either party?
None, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense. Thank you.
All right, hearing none. Best of luck to you, Mr. Anderson. Who do we have next?
Position 2, Bagley.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Bagley. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. Your case is 22 CR 002048B, and you're charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence with an offense date of April the 5th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I conduct this hearing by video?
Yes.
And can your attorney help you by video? Did you say yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
4th arrest, 2009 forgery, 1st degree. Got first offender. 2010 driving without a valid license. 2011 probation violation for the forgery.
Thank you. All right, whose case this is for the state? My screen got small all of a sudden. Oh, Mr. Segura, yes. The state's recommendation.
The incident occurred on April the 5th, 2022 at 9995 Old Dogwood Road, Roswell. In this situation, officers responded to a domestic dispute. They made contact with Jacqueline Hambrick. Jacqueline spelled JACQUELINE, Hambrick spelled HAMBRICK. Ms. Hambrick had stated that on that afternoon, she and the defendant got into a verbal altercation. She stated that when she attempted to leave the room, the defendant followed her out, and Ms. Hambrick then stated that the defendant wrapped his arms around her while she was standing next to the elevator and would not let her move. Ms. Hambrick then stated that she was afraid at this time and that she was able to throw her phone to the juvenile son and instructed him to call 911. At that point, Ms. Hambrick states that the defendant then released her. We are recommending a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, 1-day anger awareness, a stay from 9995 Old Dogwood Road, Roswell, and no further contact with Jacqueline Hambrick. Allegations are based on these facts and also because of a special relationship between Ms. Hambrick and the defendant. The two are currently in a relationship. They live together and they also share 1 child. We made contact with Ms. Hambrick earlier today, and she said that She doesn't mind the defendant to return home. Now, at the same time, we're deeply concerned because this event only happened yesterday, so we didn't believe there's long enough cooling off period. And also because of his actions, especially close to the juvenile son, we're deeply concerned that this type of action could arise again. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Segura. At this time, before I go to Ms. Camp, I'm going to sound for the victim, last name Hambrick. Ms. Hambrick, if you are present on the Zoom conference and wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. Right, hearing. Oh, Ms. Hambrick, do I hear you speaking?
Yes, I don't want to make a statement.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gantz?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Antonio Bagley is 33 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has family here, including his mother and 5 children. He informs me that he shares 4 children with the complaining witness, Ms. Jacqueline Hambrick. He states the children are ages 9, 12, 13, and 18. The children live with Ms. Hambrick and Mr. Bagley. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 9995 Old Dogwood Road. Mr. Bagley completed high school. He just found a new job at TCPS Security about 1.5 weeks ago. He is due at work. He was unable to confirm his schedule with his employer this week, and he is very concerned that he may have lost that job. Prior to that, Your Honor, my client was unemployed for a period of time, spanning for about 2 weeks, and prior to that, he worked Pace Logistics times 1 year. He denies the allegations, Your Honor. He states that Ms. Hambrick was upset, irate, and screaming at him, and that he basically put his arms around her to console her. There are no allegations of any physical violence. We did not hear about any convictions of violence for my client. We heard from the state regarding Ms. Hambrick's wishes. I also spoke with her. She states that she wants him to return home so that they can continue with their lives. Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond. He is recommended through pretrial. Again, we are opposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, at this time, Mr. Bagley is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Hambrick. He is to attend a 1-day anger awareness program, and he is to stay away from the address on Old Dogwood Road. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as the condition of this bond.
Your Honor.
Yes.
May I ask, in light of the court's ruling for third-party transfer and a one-time law enforcement escort?
Yes, ma'am. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items, and he can arrange the transport of his children through a third party. Otherwise, he is to have no further contact with the victim.
How much was that again?
$3,000 through pretrial. All right, is there anything further from either the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Question? You look confused.
Yeah, I'm saying, so I don't get.
Mr. Bagley.
Pre-trial.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you got. You done.
Okay.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 3, Bernard.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Bernard. Your case is 22 CR 002050G, in which you're charged with 1 count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer with an offense date of April the 4th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I conduct this by video, and can your attorney help you by video?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Howard, pretrial jail, but what's the history for the record?
4th arrest. 2020 battery DV, assault strangulation. The state may know what happened with that case. I didn't look it up. March 2021, possession of drug-related objects. December 2021, driving without a valid license, conviction. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Segura?
The incident occurred on April the 4th, 2022, at the incident location at 2301 Godby Road, H32, Cottage Park. In this situation, police officers were conducting an investigatory stop. The officer observed the defendant climbing out of the window of his vehicle as police were exiting their vehicle. The defendant fled on foot. The defendant said they observed the defendant running eastbound behind the buildings north of the property of the incident location. At that point, police officers advised his units about his location, and the defendant was able to get in custody. We're recommending a $3,000 signature bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Gant, do you have any objection to the $3,000 signature bond through the
No, Your Honor.
jail?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right. All right. At this time, Mr. Bernard is going to get a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, and weapons as a condition of this bond. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. We can move to the next case. Who do we have next?
Position 4, Bowie.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Bowie. Your case is 22 CR 002057A. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. You're charged with criminal trespass and obtaining unlawful entry to MARTA with an offense date of April the 4th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes.
Can I conduct this by video, and can your attorney help you by video?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
20 total between Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia. Last arrest was 2020 for robbery. It was an open ag assault. 20 CP 191836. Open robbery by sudden snatch. 20 CP 191927. On probation for criminal damage to property second degree. 18 SC 163886. 2019, they gave him 4.5 years to serve, 3.5 years probation. Also on probation for terrorist threats, 2 counts. Simple battery, 19 SC 170819.
Okay, I think I've got it. That's good. Thank you. Mrs. Segura?
Your Honor, I would like to make it known that on the previous case, there was also a co-defendant with position number 5. It was under the same facts.
Okay.
But for this case, for the welfare position, okay, this incident occurred on April the 5th, 2022 at 713 West Peachtree Street, Northwest Atlanta. In this situation, the defendant unlawfully gained entry access into Malta by walking through the emergency exit gate, and as thus, he was on the property without the consent. As a result, we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond, $750 for each count, alcohol, drugs, and weapons. We're making allegations based on these facts, and also because he has a history involving criminal trespass, and he was arrested with criminal trespass twice in 2012 and once in 2013. And we also concerned he could be a threat risk because he has a recent 2018 assault in Alabama. So we're concerned he could flee the state if he's released.
Thank you, Ms. Segura. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Christopher Bowie is 47 years old. Mr. Bowie has been in the Atlanta area his entire life. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at 713 West Peachtree Street. Mr. Bowie completed 7th grade. And I would bring to the court's attention that Mr. Bowie has been homeless for the past 18 months, and he was just able to get housing at the Salvation Army. He informs me that because he did not show up last night because of his incarceration, he is at risk of losing everything that he just obtained, including all of his housing, his bed at Salvation Army, his clothing, everything that would help to reintroduce him to society as a gainfully employed member. He was supposed to report to a new job, Fresh Express. Today, his shift is 3 p.m. to 5 a.m. He had been unemployed over a year prior to that. He does not have any money whatsoever to pay toward bond. And while I acknowledge my client's history, this is not a conviction. This is not an allegation of violence whatsoever. And his criminal trespass cases were 2012 and 2013, which I believe are too remote for this court to consider. He is not a flight risk. He does not have the means to pay anything. He disputes these allegations, Your Honor. He is presumed innocent, and he understands the importance of returning to court to defend against these allegations, as I did not hear about any FTAs. And for these reasons, Your Honor, I'm requesting a signature bond. Thank you.
All right, at this time, Mr. Bowie is going to receive a split bond. He's going to get $1,000 surety bond on count 1, the criminal trespass, and $1,000 signature bond through the jail on count 2. You know what, actually, I'm going to give you a second chance this time, Mr. Bowie. You're going to receive a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. You are not to return to that MARTA station under any circumstances. You are to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Do you understand that?
Okay, say it again.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and do not go back there, all right?
Bless you.
All right, that will conclude your case. Best of luck to you, sir, all right?
All right.
Is there anything further from either the state or the defense?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Can we go to position 5, I believe, since that was the co-defendant for position 3? Is that correct, Mr. Segura?
Yes.
Position number 5, Ms. Brown. Okay, and I don't believe you've heard your rights at the South Annex, so I'm gonna advise you. Are you Nisha Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Brown, your case is 22 CR 002052F, in which you're charged with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer with an offense date of April the 4th of 2022. I want to advise you, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of the case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this proceeding. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and can I conduct this by video today?
Yes.
And can your attorney assist you by video? Ms. Brown, can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Howard?
She was arrested May 28th, 2020, trespass damage. That's 21 CR 001466F as in Frank. May 28th, 2020, I got 2 counts of ag assault with deadly weapon. 22 SC 181066. And this is, the obstruction is the next arrest, the current arrest, actually.
All right, thank you. Mr. Segura?
Denton Kid on April the 4th, 2022 at 32301 Godby Road, H32, Cottage Park. In this situation, officers are doing an investigatory stop. And when they stopped the vehicle, they noticed a man came out the window, but at the same time, the defendant was advising the police officer about the situation, and then she tried to flee from the scene on foot. The police officer at the moment pursued the defendant on a foot chase, grabbed her by a collar, and took her to the ground and placed her in handcuffs. We are recommending a $3,000 signature bond and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Allegations are based on these facts, and also want to make it known that she still has an outstanding warrant from Marshall County for criminal trespass. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. McLeod, do you have any objection to the $3,000 signature bond, which I feel is appropriate in this case?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, Ms. Brown is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, and she is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond.
I just wanted the court to know that she is a high school student, Your Honor. She's only 19 years old. She's still in high school.
All right. All right, best of luck to Ms. Brown. Stay out of trouble. All right, who do we have next?
Position 9, Mr. Hartman.
Okay, Mr. Hartman, your case is 22 CR 002053F, in which you're charged with obstruction of a law enforcement officer with the offense date of April the 5th, 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes,
And can I conduct this by video today?
yes,
And can your attorney assist you by video?
yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
I counted about 16. I got history out of North Dakota, Montana, Ohio, Tennessee, and Alabama. Last arrest 2019, possession of cocaine with intent, possession of a controlled substance or marijuana within 1,000 feet of schools, attempt or conspiracy to violate the Georgia Controlled Substance Act. He has outstanding warrants out of Jonesboro. I think that one's for assault in Crawfordville, Georgia. The Ohio arrest 2013, it says criminal simulation. I have no idea what that is. Got a 2016 arrest out of Tennessee, theft of property $500 or less, forgery, criminal simulation, simple drug possession, casual
That's
exchange.
good. Thank you, Mr. Howard. I think that's good. Ms. Sowry?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers were patrolling the area of Northside and Ivan Allen when the officers saw a vehicle in which the defendant was a passenger. They saw the vehicle without a tag. The location was 548 Northside Drive in Atlanta at a Circle K gas station. The officers then conducted a traffic stop, and when the car came to a stop, the defendant jumped out and he fled from the officers. One of the officers canvassed the area with a K9 looking for the defendant, and he was found attempting to jump a fence. Your Honor, we've heard from pretrial that this defendant is a multi-state offender. He has history out of Georgia, Alabama, North Dakota, Montana, Ohio, and Tennessee. In Alabama, he has a 2016 obstruction of justice and public order crimes arrest. As in Georgia, he has a 2017 fugitive from justice, 2018 probation violation, 2019 battery family violence, and he does have an ag assault warrant out of Clayton. Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case, I'm sorry, the bond has already been set at $2,500 surety. State is recommending it to be remain as set. This defendant is also a flight risk due to the very nature of this charge and the fugitive from justice arrest. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sowry. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Horatio Hardiman is 29 years old. He informed me that he has been in the Atlanta area his entire life. He has family here, including 2 children, 2 daughters, ages 7 and 10. He states that he is the primary caretaker of those children at times. Your Honor, Mr. Hardiman completed 12th grade. He is self-employed at H&H Trucking and Towing. He started that business in December of 2021. However, he informs me that the business has not been profitable. At this time, Your Honor, we are denying the allegations. Mr. Hardiman states that he has had bad experiences with the police officers, so obviously he was afraid for his life. He informs me that he was unaware of the warrants. And regarding my client's history, I heard about a lot of arrests, but I did not hear about convictions. And again, we would ask this court to rely upon convictions as opposed to cycles. Again, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Hardiman's behalf. There are no allegations of violence in this matter. And if Your Honor is not inclined to grant a signature bond, then a bond of no more than $1,000. Thank you.
All right, at this time, Mr. Hardiman is going to receive a surety bond in the amount of $1,000, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Are there any questions from either party?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
We have position number 11, Mr. Jones.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Jones. Your case is 22 CR 0020668, and what you're charged with simple battery family violence. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I conduct this by video, and can your attorney help you by video?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
14 total. Last arrest December 2020 for battery. That's open in state court, 21 CR 005 187C.
Okay.
Has history out of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Wisconsin, he was arrested for operating while under the influence in 2019. I saw another one, hold on. 2020 out of Minnesota, domestic assault. Interference with emergency telephone call. I don't see a disposition for those charges.
Okay. All right.
2016, I got one more. 2016 battery family violence conviction. That was in Georgia. All right, that's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 5th, 2022, officers were dispatched to the incident location of 3200 Lakeview Place, apartment 218 in East Point, where they encountered the victim, Jasmine Thomas. That's Jasmyne, last name Thomas, common spelling. Ms. Thomas advised that the defendant got upset after they came home from the park with their kids. They were living together at that apartment. She said that the defendant began to argue with her. She decided that she was going to leave the apartment through a window to kind of de-escalate the argument. And while she was trying to leave, the defendant came up to her and started pulling her hair as she was kind of in the window and out of the window. Jamaka Willett, and I'm going to spell that, that's Jamacca, last name Willett, Willet, is the courtesy officer for the apartment complex. She observed the incident with the defendant pulling Ms. Thomas's hair as she was climbing out of the window, and she was screaming for help. Officer Willett is the one who instructed the defendant to stop, and that's why the incident stopped. And Officer Willett is the one who called East Point Police to come out. As Mr. Howard stated, this is a multi-state offender. My concern, Your Honor, is that there are 5 arrests total over his history for family violence. There are 2 convictions for family violence, and 4 of the incidents of family violence occurred since 2016. As to the open case that he alluded to, 21 CR 005187C, that involves the same victim, Ms. Thomas. And in that incident, I reviewed that report. The defendant grabbed Ms. Thomas by the hair, drug her across the floor, struck her face and body, and struck her with a frying pan. She did have visible swelling and bruising as a result of that incident on 12/12/2020. So he presents a substantial danger to this victim in particular. And I think there is a high likelihood to reoffend. As I mentioned, there are 4 incidents of family violence since 2016. Now we have 2 cases, and then we have the 2016 conviction in which he did a negotiated guilty plea on the 16 SC 145. Could you say that again? I am so sorry. That's my watch. On the 2016 battery family violence case. So in this case, my recommendation is a $7,500 surety bond due to the history in the open case, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, a 1-day anger awareness course, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And I do want to mention, Your Honor, we did try to reach out to Ms. Thomas. Our office did make the attempt, but the number was out of service. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Harmon. Before I go to you, Mr. Coleman, I'm going to sound for the victim, last name Thomas. Ms. Thomas, if you are present on this Zoom conference and would like to be heard, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, hearing none or seeing none, Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, I will be requesting a signature bond on in lieu of that, a low bond from Mr. Jones. I will remind the court at this time that these are just allegations against my client. He is 39 years of age, a resident of Atlanta, Fulton County. He went as far as the 11th grade. He is currently not employed, so he has no money to post for bond. He is the father of 5 children, ages 1 year to 16 years. Again, I would be requesting a signature bond or in lieu of that, a low bond from Mr. Jones.
All right, at this time, Mr. Jones is going to receive a $3,000 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Thomas, and he must stay away from that address on Lakeview Place. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond.
Your Honor, regarding the stairway, Mr. Jones states to me that this apartment is actually his. The lease is in his name, not in the alleged victim's. So I would ask that he be allowed to return to his residence.
And we are opposed to that, Your Honor.
If the victim is not there, he can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get his things. If law enforcement confirms that the victim no longer resides at that location, he can return to his home. Otherwise, he'll need to find somewhere else to stay as a condition of his bond.
Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Jones. Who do we have next?
Position 16 at the South Annex, Miss Tammy Messer.
All right, Ms. Messer, I'm not sure if you heard your constitutional rights earlier, but you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this proceeding today. Do you understand those constitutional rights, and can I conduct this hearing by video today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And can you say your attorney? Can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard.
6 total. Last was 2017 DUI out of Florida. Let's see. She got an arrest from the 80s, the 90s, 2010 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. It was expunged. 2013 misdemeanor possession of marijuana dismissed. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened at 415 Morgan Falls Road, apartment 3016 in Sandy Springs, Georgia, yesterday. What occurred was that officers arrived at that location and spoke and found that the defendant was keeping her niece, Lena Adams, who's a witness in this. The defendant's sister, Mary Adams, who is the victim in this case, arrived to pick her daughter Lena up, at which time an argument ensued, which then escalated. The defendant struck Miss Adams in her face, and that is Mary Adams in her face, and officers were able to see a scratch to the left side of Mary Adams' face and on the right side of her nose. The main concern here is the fact that there has not been a sufficient cooling off period between the parties, as well as the fact that the defendant's history is largely both in Georgia as well as that 2017 case in Florida. So we're a little concerned about the ties with the community. The state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, a one-day anger awareness course, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right, I'm gonna sound for the victim at this time. Last name Adams, Miss Mary Adams. I see a Melissa Adams. Are you Mary Adams, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You're Mary Adams?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you like to make a statement? You don't have to.
No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, my sister has never been
Okay,
violent before.
before you speak.
Oh, okay.
I want you to please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like to tell me at this time?
I just want to say that my sister has never been violent before. She's never, ever, we've never fought. We've always been very close. I just think that I showed her a picture of my daughter and her daughter doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And it just, I think, made her upset. I did not want to press charges with my sister. It wasn't like a crazy situation. It was really dumb, but the police officers just said they have to take her because I had marks on my face, which were just little bitty, nothing, little scratches that I think came from her ring. But this has really not, she doesn't need to be where she's at all.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Adams. Mr. Coleman?
John, I will be requesting a signature bond from my client. I did not hear any violence in her history. She's 54 years of age. She does reside here in Atlanta, Fulton County. She has attended some college. She owns a construction company along with her husband and brother. She is the mother of 2 children, ages 15 and 17. Again, based on the representations of the alleged victim in this case, I will be requesting a signature bond from my client.
All right, thank you. At this time, Ms. Messer is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to have no further violent contact with the victim, and she is to take the one-day anger awareness course. She is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
number 14, Mr. McDuffie.
Okay, Mr. McDuffie, your case number is 22 CR 002065J, in which you're charged with criminal trespass with the offense date of April the 5th. Do you understand your constitutional rights? And can I conduct this hearing by video, and can your attorney help you by video? All right, thank you, Mr. Howard.
13 total. Last was 2018 probation violation. 2017 trespass conviction. I got a misdemeanor marijuana possession, shoplifting, misdemeanor obstruction, simple assault conviction, 2017. 2016 probation violation. 2016 shoplifting conviction. Got another probation violation, 2015 and 2014.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Harmon.
Yes, Your Honor. On April 5th, 2022, at the location of 530 Paces Ferry Road in Atlanta, that location is actually in an apartment complex called the Ashley Gable Apartments. The defendant was issued an official criminal trespass warning on March 30th, 2022 by APD, and they made a report on that. And he was instructed to stay away from that property. He returned on April 5th, 2022. The property manager asked him to leave. He refused, so the police were called. Officer Kay Spence was dispatched to the location, and she observed him, the defendant, attempted to walk away when he spotted her, and then he was detained. Your Honor, Mr. Howard has detailed the criminal history. We believe that this defendant has a likelihood to reoffend. Clearly, he ignored the previous warning given to him just a few weeks ago. I noted between 2014 and present, there were 4 probation violations. And of course, the criminal trespass arrest in 2018 is of concern. Our recommendation in this case is a $3,000 signature bond. We would ask that he would be instructed to stay away from the 530 Paces Ferry Road address, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Thank you.
All right. Whose case, Mr. Coleman?
Yes,
Any
yeah,
objection
no
to that?
objection to the signature bond.
All right, thank you. At this time, Mr. McDuffie is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, but Mr. McDuffie, you must absolutely stay away from that address on Paces Ferry Road. Do you understand? And you are to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of your bond. All right, best of luck to you, sir. We can move to the next case.
Number 17, Mr. Miles.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Miles. Your case is 22 CR 002064C. Are you all still able to see me? I'm not sure what my computer is doing at this time.
I can still see you.
All right, I'm gonna continue. If it gets any worse, I'll have to restart. Your case is 22 CR 002064C, in which you're charged with 1 count of failure to report striking a fixed object and failure to maintain or improper lane change, each with an offense date of April the 5th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional rights? Hello, sir, do you understand your constitutional rights? Am I frozen? Okay. And can I conduct this hearing by video today?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
6 total. 2019 shoplifting. It was NOD. 2018 trespass. It just says bind over. 2017 battery in a public transit vehicle or station. 2015 theft by taking, theft of services. The theft by taking, he pled NOLO too. Theft of services was dismissed. And a 2014 driving without a valid license conviction.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And the state's recommendation?
The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is based on the following facts. This incident occurred at 890 Hollywood Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. and it occurred yesterday. So Georgia State Patrol received a call regarding a loud noise and a possible crash into someone's home. They arrived along with APD. The officers observed that the defendant, who was the driver of the vehicle, had crashed into bushes, a fence, and a parked car. There was severe damage to the front of the defendant's car, as well as severe damage to the parked car as well. And upon running the defendant's information, it was discovered he had outstanding warrants, which may have attributed to the fact, my apologies, I live in the city, may have attributed to the fact that he failed to notify law enforcement of the incident. Our concerns is that the defendant had both outstanding warrants from Cobb and Fulton for FTA, as well as other pending offenses. He currently also has a foreign hold on him in our jail system, and he has 7 cycles. The current bond on him was a $265 surety bond on both charges. The state's recommendation is that we increase those each to a $500 surety bond for a total of a $1,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, I would be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Miles. He is 25 years of age, has an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. He did attend some college and is currently employed as a barber. Only 6 arrests in his history. Again, these appear to be, this appears to be an accident. I think that this is really more civil than it is criminal. So again, I'd be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Miles.
All right, at this time, Mr. Miles is going to receive a $1,000 signature bond through the jail, $500 for each charge, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next? Is it Whitney Williams? Is that our last?
Yes, Your Honor, position 20.
All right, Ms. Williams, your case is 22 CR 00262Y, and what you're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes.
And can I hold this hearing by video, and can your attorney assist you by video?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Your Honor, this
First arrest.
is the first arrest.
Yeah, resident of Evansville, Indiana.
All right, Ms. Falk.
Your Honor, this incident happened when the defendant went to the Hope House in Atlanta, which is at 458 Ponce de Leon, Atlanta, Georgia, yesterday. They were unable to assist her because they had limited resources, and they asked her to vacate the premises several times. She refused. The officer spoke with her and suggested she might want to try another location. She stated she did not want to move and that they would have to arrest her. Clearly, in this case, she is residentially challenged. The state has recommended that she be screened for pretrial diversion. We have sent the forms already to Ms. Gant, who I believe conveyed those to, I want to say, Mr. Coleman today. So I don't know what the result of that is, but regardless, the state's recommendation is $1,000 signature bond. And we are not asking for a stay away because although Hope House was limited in their resources on this particular evening, she may have need of them at a later.
Right, I understand, Ms. Falk. Any objection, Mr. Coleman, to the signature bond?
No, Your Honor, just very briefly. Ms. Williams stated to me that she is residentially challenged. I have contacted a social worker within my office who is going to try to contact Ms. Williams before she's eventually released from the jail. I did receive the information regarding the PTI program. I don't think that that would be appropriate for Ms. Williams at this time, as that program usually involves classes which Ms. Williams would have to pay for, and she's not in any position to pay for anything right now.
My understanding, there is not payment required for the program we would be recommending, so that should not be an issue.
Well, we'll resolve those at a later date. I'm sure those issues, else outstanding matters. At this time, she's going to receive a $1,000 signature bond through the jail, and she is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, I believe that completes our calendar. Best of luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you. That was a, hey, Your Honor, was that $1,000 through the jail?
Yes.
What happened with Wilcox?
Michael Wilcox. Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, we still have I apologize. What position is that? 19.
19.
All right, Mr. I apologize. South Annex is excused. Are you Michael Wilcox? All right, Mr. Wilcox, your case is 22 CR 002055C, in which you're charged with criminal trespass with an offense date of April the 4th of 2022. Do you understand your constitutional right?
Yes.
And can I conduct this hearing by video? Yes. And can your attorney assist you by video? Yes. Thank you. All right, Mr. Howard.
Last arrest was March 5th, criminal trespass. He has an open criminal damage to property in Superior Court, 20 CP 195262, and an open simple assault. He has 83 total, so I didn't really go into it.
Maybe give me the last 2 years.
Oh, that's a lot.
Okay, last year.
2021, he had an August 25th failure to appear for criminal damage to property. That's all he had from last year. 2020, he had simple assault, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree, another simple assault. In 2019, FTAs and trespass, and another 2019 trespass. Another 2019 trespass, their convictions, 2018 trespass conviction.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sowry?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 923 Lee Street Southwest in Atlanta. That's the location of a Chevron gas station. The officer responded regarding a criminal trespass. When he arrived, he saw the defendant standing on the property near the gas pumps. The defendant saw the officer's patrol vehicle and he began to walk away from the location. This defendant had previously been given a verbal criminal trespass warning by the clerk in the officer's presence on March 1st of this year. And the defendant was then placed under arrest for a criminal trespass. Your Honor, we've heard from pretrial, this defendant has 83 arrests, but I'll go into the last 5 years to spare time to the court. This defendant has a 2018 criminal trespass guilty conviction, 2019 criminal trespass guilty conviction, and another 2019 criminal trespass that was amended to disorderly. He has multiple probation violations. In 2017, he has 3 additional criminal trespass in 2019.
I think I get that, Ms. Howard. He has quite a few. So rather than going through them all, I think we've gotten the gist of it, and we've focused on the key ones. What is your recommendation?
Yes, it's a $3,000 surety bond with conditions of a stay away from the Chevron, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And Your Honor, I just wanted to point out that open 22 criminal damage. In the second, this defendant was given an unsecured judicial release, which he has violated the bond conditions on. So that's why we're asking for the surety bond, nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Sowry. Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, I will be requesting a signature bond on lieu of that, a low bond for Mr. Wilcox. Again, I am cognizant of his history. He is 52 years of age. He does have an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. He went as far as the 10th grade. However, he is not working, therefore he has no money to post for bond. We just be requesting lower bond as possible if the court is inclined to grant him a signature bond.
All right, at this time, Mr. Wilcox is going to receive a $500 surety bond. He is to stay away from that address on Lee Street, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of his bond. Is there anything further from either party?
No.
Nothing further.
All right, I believe that actually concludes our calendar. Ms. Bridgewater, will you review it for me?
I certainly will. Again, the reset date for SAP is going to be April the 19th. Position number 1 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 4, reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 5, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 6 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 7, reset to the SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. Position 8, reset further notice with a $6,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 10, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 11, reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 12, reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 13, reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 14, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 15, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 17, reset further notice with the $1,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 18, reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 19, reset to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. And position 20, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, corrections, or otherwise?
Was position 7, was that handled by the conflict attorney, Ms. McLeod?
I do not
Yes.
show, I did not mark. Okay, Ms. McLeod answered.
Thank you.
Okay,
And Ms. Bridgewater, I'm not sure which position is Camacho, but I would like to
it
hear.
is
her
position
bond-
number 7.
Okay, her bond conditions, please.
No further contact with Kai Ricks and Veronica Martinez. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And because that was at a location at some restaurant or whatever, the judge did not give a stay away.
Okay, thank you.
You're quite welcome. Are there any others? If not, everybody be safe. It's pouring outside.
Yeah. Judge, you on for
All
Friday?
right. Hearing no other comments, changes, corrections, or questions, I believe we'll be in recess until tomorrow at 2 p.m. I am not working this week. This will be the only day that you see me this week. So everyone take care and have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. You too.
Be safe, everybody.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.